They say fasting makes the body eat itself, but the truth lies in a quiet process that may determine your longevity and health. If what you feared all along is actually the key to healing, would you dare to look again? I am Ethan Marshall, a 60-year-old physician in the United States who has spent most of my life studying the body's innate healing mechanisms. And today, I want to begin with a truth that may shock you. For decades, we have believed a serious misconception that when you fast, your body eats its own flesh. It sounds frightening, doesn't it? Yet this mistaken belief has caused millions of people to miss one of the body's most powerful natural recovery mechanisms. If what I'm about to share feels valuable to you, please subscribe, like, and share this video so we can continue creating meaningful health content. Over many years in my clinic, watching patients struggle amid waves of misinformation, I realized that the greatest fear people carry is not hunger, but the feeling that their bodies are turning against them. The phrase, fasting is eating yourself, is a classic example. It leads many to believe that skipping just a few meals will cause instant weakness, muscle loss, or self-destruction. Yet this belief comes from an overly simplified explanation of metabolism, a viewpoint that only looks at the surface and ignores the deeper wisdom that governs the body. In ancient medical texts, especially those describing cleansing practices within the Essene tradition, the body is likened to an intelligent temple that always protects life rather than destroys it without cause. When I first read that many years ago, I nodded for a long time. It perfectly matched what I observed in my patients. No body wishes to destroy itself. Doing so goes against the nature of life. In reality, it is our excessive worry that causes the misunderstanding. When you skip a meal or two, the body does not fall into self-destruction. It simply redirects its energy toward more essential tasks instead of digesting food non-stop. The fear of losing tissue arises because we tend to evaluate health only by immediate physical sensations, without understanding the silent protective systems always at work inside. If fasting truly made the body consume itself, humanity would have gone extinct long ago. Because throughout thousands of years of evolution, humans endured periods of scarce food and continued not only to survive, but to grow stronger. What matters is not how long you stop eating, but how you understand your body's operations when that happens. Before we move on, I want to ask you one simple question. When you think about fasting, what scares you more? A. The body will weaken from lack of nutrients. B. The body may react unpredictably. Leave your answer in the comments below. When examining the biological nature of fasting, it is essential to separate emotional metaphors from actual physiology. The so-called eating tissue is often misinterpreted as the body consuming healthy muscle, while the truth is far more complex and primarily involves removing damaged tissue, accumulated mucus, and cellular waste, components that burden organ function. Metabolically, when nutrient intake decreases, the digestive system reduces its workload of secretion, digestion, and absorption, allowing energy to be redirected toward maintenance functions. Stored glycogen is used first, followed by increased lipolysis to release energy from fat stores, while intracellular cleanup mechanisms like autophagy activate to break down defective proteins and damaged organelles, restoring cellular integrity and reducing oxidative stress. At the same time, reduced substrate for gut bacteria shifts the microbiome's composition, decreasing populations dependent on refined foods and excess protein, while encouraging microbial groups that support waste breakdown and maintain mucosal barriers. This may reduce bacterial toxins and inflammatory byproducts and lighten the load on the liver and detox systems. Endocrine adjustments also occur. Lowered baseline insulin, long-term improvement in insulin sensitivity, modulation of growth hormone, and changes in inflammatory cytokines, all contributing to better metabolic flexibility, reduced chronic inflammation, and enhanced tissue repair. With respect to the distinction between damaged and healthy tissue, the body tends to target compromised, aging, or toxic tissues for removal, which are processed and eliminated through the excretory pathways rather than indiscriminately eaten. When organs like the liver, kidneys, colon, and lymphatic system are no longer diverted by constant digestion, their capacity for clearance and homeostatic regulation improves, producing whole-body effects such as increased mental clarity, reduced inflammation, and higher available energy. However, these responses vary greatly among individuals. The pace and intensity of internal cleansing depend on toxin accumulation, glycogen and fat reserves, metabolic adaptability, and detox organ function. Therefore, any fasting program must be designed around continuous monitoring of adaptation symptoms and supporting appropriate detox pathways, hydration, non-mucus forming fiber, electrolyte balance, to optimize benefits without compromising organ function. Clinical observation and historical records provide compelling evidence against the assumption that fasting endurance is directly proportional to fat stores. Instead, the determining factor is the level of toxin accumulation and damaged tissue within the body. Reports from traditional fasting practices and natural healing literature show that lean individuals whose bodies are less burdened by mucus and metabolic waste often handle extended fasts more smoothly and with fewer detox reactions than overweight individuals carrying larger toxic loads in their fat stores. This stored toxicity can trigger acute detox responses when fasting begins, as toxins are released from mobilized fat into circulation, causing symptoms such as headaches, nausea, severe fatigue, or a sense of detox crisis, often mistaken as evidence that the body is consuming healthy tissue. Experimental notes clearly describe this phenomenon. In highly burdened individuals, initial reactions are intense, and fasting duration must be shortened, while those with cleaner internal environments adapt more gently and maintain fasting longer without functional loss. From a systems biology perspective, this is logical. Fat tissue serves as a reservoir for both soluble and insoluble toxic compounds, and rapid lipolysis briefly increases the liver's and kidneys' workload. These reactions are not signs of tissue loss, but indicators that the detox process is temporarily overwhelmed. Observations further show that detox intensity varies based on age, organ function, glycogen status, and long-term dietary history. Thus, two people with the same BMI may experience fasting completely differently. Case notes from natural healing literature describe situations in which overweight individuals struggled beyond 24-48 hours, while lean individuals with low internal pollution continued fasting for several days while maintaining cognitive and mild physical activity. These findings carry two major implications. First, pre-fasting assessments should focus more on internal toxicity and detox organ capacity than body fat. And second, strong reactions in overweight individuals are not evidence of self-destruction, but signals that supportive detox measures are needed. Fasting tolerance, therefore, is a matter of internal quality, not fat quantity, an understanding crucial for designing safe, individualized fasting programs. When fasting is approached as a structured journey of purification and renewal, it involves clearly defined phases: preparation, active fasting, maintenance, and refeeding, each requiring proper support to maximize benefits and minimize risks. Preparation includes assessing baseline health, nutrition status, liver-kidney function, medications, eating disorder history, and gradually shifting to lighter meals with more fresh fruits and vegetables to reduce mucus-forming input. During active fasting, the guiding principles are gradual reduction, close monitoring of basic clinical markers, blood pressure, heart rate, hydration, mental clarity, and supportive measures such as adequate water and electrolytes, rest, and avoidance of strenuous physical activity. In the maintenance phase, it is essential to distinguish normal detox symptoms, mild headaches, temporary fatigue, bowel changes, from warning signs requiring medical intervention. Light detox symptoms can often be managed by increasing hydration, using diluted mineral salts when needed, and adding non-mucus forming fiber once adaptation begins. More intensive interventions, such as colon cleansing, should only be used when clinically indicated and under supervision. Upon breaking the fast, careful refeeding prevents digestive shock. Starting with hydrating fruits and lightly cooked vegetables, then gradually reintroducing structured meals while avoiding heavy processed foods. Individualized planning is crucial. Setting specific goals, tracking symptoms, adjusting fasting duration based on response, and collaborating with health professionals when necessary. For older adults or those with chronic conditions, cautious short-duration fasting with medical oversight is essential. Beyond physiology, the psychological and philosophical dimensions matter. Mindful awareness, journaling, and community support can help sustain the process. Traditional healing views emphasize fasting as both physical and spiritual purification, and respecting the body's pace enhances both safety and efficacy. In summary, structured fasting integrates clinical principles, nutritional support, and psychological balance to create a safe, repeatable, comprehensive healing method. The concluding message must be presented with clarity and responsibility. Historical fasting experiments highlight remarkable physiological potential, but they are not universal prescriptions. It is crucial to distinguish scientific exploration, individual experience, and evidence-based clinical recommendations. 3 core principles should guide practice: avoid extremes, proceed gradually, and monitor consistently. Avoiding extremes means no prolonged or aggressive fasting without medical evaluation, no generalizing from exceptional cases, and recognizing personal risk factors such as underlying disease, medications, or nutritional deficits. Gradual progression means beginning with modest, controlled changes, short cycles, lighter dinners, or scheduled intermittent fasting, then advancing only when the body adapts. Monitoring includes setting clear health goals, tracking symptoms and biomarkers, reviewing progress every 2 to 4 weeks, and stopping or modifying the protocol at the first sign of danger, such as dizziness, arrhythmias, hypoglycemia, or severe dehydration. At the community and professional level, personalized approaches should be emphasized, considering baseline health, medication use, and risk factors. Behavioral and nutritional support includes hydration, gentle refeeding practices, prioritizing fresh plant-based foods, and avoiding unnecessary colon procedures. Ethically, communicators must differentiate hypothesis, observation, and clinical guidance, avoid exaggerated claims, and offer transparent risk-benefit explanations while encouraging consultation with qualified professionals. Psychologically, mindful engagement, journaling, and supportive networks help maintain safety and resilience. Ultimately, meaningful health improvement comes from small, sustainable, carefully monitored adjustments rather than dramatic attempts. When applied correctly, with supervision and individualization, digestive load reduction can become a powerful tool for restoring function, but only when practiced with safety and medical responsibility. The exploration of fasting's true nature reveals that what people often fear is, in fact, the very tool the body uses to heal. Fasting does not weaken the body but enables it to eliminate damaged tissue, waste, and accumulated toxins. Fasting endurance depends not on fat quantity, but on internal cleanliness. When practiced correctly, with structure and observation, fasting becomes a method of biological renewal rather than an extreme act. The body possesses innate wisdom, and sometimes the best support we can offer is simply to remove the burdens that obscure it. It is worth remembering that small, steady adjustments often carry more lasting power than extreme efforts. Instead of jumping into long fasts, one can begin with lighter dinners, longer natural pauses between meals, or paying closer attention to bodily signals. These simple steps open the door to recovery safely. Which do you believe matters more when beginning a fast? Mental preparation or physical preparation? Share your thoughts below. To receive a natural healing ebook and accompany us on your journey towards sustainable well-being, fill out the form in the description. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video. to support the continued creation of meaningful content.